Hey folks, welcome back. I'm here with Kate, Dom, and Christina, and we are talking about storytelling. So look, in this world where AI seems to be taking over everything, I'm talking to lots of recruiting folks who think that bots are going to replace some of the recruiting. People not in recruiting think recruiters are just going to go away. What is the truth? Our contention is that the premium, the one thing that will not change and will make the biggest difference in the world of recruiting today and in the future is your ability to tell a story. Do you know your company's vision? Do you know your company's mission? Do you go the extra mile to really make sure someone understands the company and there's some emotion behind it? I can tell you that I've interviewed in my past and that doesn't happen. So let's make the TA profession better by improving our storytelling. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we try to tackle here and hopefully you benefit from it. So outreach, I mean, storytelling happens at all stages of the recruiting process. Talk to me about how you think about that first outreach, that first in-mail that you might send to somebody.
I think people just have a lot of work they got to get done, right? And they're not taking the time to tailor these conversations. Like, I know personally, I've got a message from someone working at a company, and they didn't know the company that I worked at, right? So they hit me up and said, you've done some great work over at X and X company. Not my company, and we think that you could be a good fit for what we're looking for here. And when I saw that, I'm like, well, if you don't take the time to even know my background, why'd I be interested in coming to your company?
I happen to bring along an in-mail that I wanted to share with everyone around this very topic. So let me read this to you. Happy 2016, I came across your profile on LinkedIn and want to reach out to you about an opening in my team in the Bay Area. We're in the process of scaling the staffing strategy team to keep pace with the unimaginable growth to come, and we're looking for individuals who enjoy building and managing complex partner relationships and interested in creating and implementing hiring and pipeline, this is still the same sentence, hiring and pipeline strategy to achieve the ambitious targets. Are you open to a quick chat to learn more? I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
About what?
I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't even know what they're talking about. So don't do that.
No.
How long does it really take to personalize a message?
It doesn't take much longer. It's just look at someone's LinkedIn profile. We have interests. We have location on there. We've got so many different things. It's not difficult. It does take 30 more seconds just to think about it, but you get into the flow of it. It becomes so second nature. It's not difficult, and it really yields results.
Do you think that recruiters actually take the time to really press down to make it personal? I mean, in my experience, people might go surface if they're decent at understanding and weaving a story, but a lot of times I find people just they're not getting personal enough with me. But what's your approach to make sure that they're not giving you some answer like, I want to make sure I grow in my career? Everyone's going to say that. How do you get down to like, no, what do you really want?
I think you've always got to start with what's important to the candidate, though. I think you've got to figure out what are they looking for, and then you really tailor what you've got in your arsenal to them. And I think that's when someone's talking about wanting growth. That's talking to your cultures. They're talking about wanting to have impact. That could talk to your company's vision or mission. Talking about particular products that they want to be involved in. Then you can dig into the product lines.
So you will literally just tell that story to a candidate. Say, hey, this is how we think about or use our product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can take an aspect, like say, our economic graph that we have, right? So what I like to do when talking to a candidate is I'll tell them, for example, so we have an economic graph now. And I have a younger brother in high school that's about to graduate, right? And just talking with him and trying to figure out what he's passionate about and what his next steps are going to be, right? So when speaking with him, he's saying that I'm in a 3D animation class that I really like and that that's something I want to pursue, right? And my first thought is, 3D animation class in high school, right? Like I feel like I was using an abacus back in the day when I was going to high school. What? So one, taking that and then using our platform as a way to like, okay, now we know what you want to do. Let's start looking at some of the schools, right? Start looking at some of the schools and the programs that they have for 3D animation and where there's at, right? And now we can start figuring out, now let's look at the companies, right? What companies are hiring from what schools, right? So let's start planning out your trajectory for where you want to go, and our platform is so amazing at doing that.
So you'll just relay that story to a candidate?
Every candidate.
Got it. What about meeting candidates in person? I'm talking to recruiters all the time. Like, I just don't have enough time. I got 10 minutes. What's your approach to sitting down face to face, not doing it? How do you prioritize your time?
I meet every single candidate, only for 10 minutes sometimes, but you've got 10 minutes face to face. You've got to make it count.
Yeah, from a story point of view, you're able to really allow a candidate to experience the culture by not only just telling the story, but allowing them to walk the walk with the story and actually see it in fruition.
One, you want to ask questions, right? The more probing questions that you ask from them, the more information they're going to give you, the more you'll have in your arsenal when it comes to personalizing your story, right? And like no matter if you're day one to the company or you're 10 years deep into the company, you have a story, right? So now it's just relaying that over the best you can.
What about using the whiteboard? You're sitting in a room.
Yeah.
Do you use the whiteboard with candidates? I mean,
yeah, I love to. I am a huge visual learner.
Yeah.
I will draw if it's membership growth of our company going to scale, or if it's talking about, any topic, telling a story, getting up, being interactive. We're not robots, we are humans.
And you get the opportunity to get the candidates involved, right?
Yeah.
So you can pick them up,
Yeah.
you can walk through what the process looks like here, how many people are in the company, how many people in the world, which goes back to our vision here, trying to connect every member of the global workforce and just seeing how big that is and how daunting of a task that is.
so you'll get them literally involved at the whiteboard. Got it. Standing up with you.
Standing up with you. Yep.
Got it. In terms of pulling this through the process, thoughts on how to do that well? I mean, so you got a candidate, you're really making sure they understand their motivators, you tell the core story, then they're going to meet with 4 more engineers or just 4 more interviewers. What do you do to make sure that that story gets pulled through, their motivation gets pulled through the process, and sort of the storytelling and the experience is geared to that throughout, not just in your conversation?
Sync meetings with the hiring managers are super important. So anyone that you get to finally get pushed through the process, I know we can all speak to the fact that a lot of people don't make it through the process, right, that we have, because it's very hard to get into tech companies, right? So having those conversations with the hiring managers and letting them know what these candidates are motivated by really helps the process with them, and it helps bring the story along with them. So we can really not only find out who's going to be the best fit for the position, but how we're going to get them to come here.
Get other people to come and talk. I think sometimes it's not just about us telling the story as well. I think, say you've got someone from a team that they're going to be interviewing, sort of with similar skill set, you've got to pull other people in from elsewhere. Get someone else to tell the story. Get someone to do it from a different perspective. Maybe you've been talking and we got used to the way you tell a story, and maybe someone else might communicate it slightly differently, but it might resonate a little bit more. But it's using those people around you for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about declining candidates. One of our toughest parts of this job, but reality is, I mean, let's see, we probably deal with tens of thousands for sure candidates, call it somewhere between probably 60 and 100,000 candidates at some level, and obviously we're declining most of them. How do you think about that as it relates to telling the story?
You've got to give facts and figures to everyone, because when that person leaves, whether they don't get through with us, obviously you're going to reject compassionately, and you're going to give them some decent feedback. But you've got to remember, every single person that you reject is going to go away, and they are going to have their experience with your company. I actually had a candidate who we rejected that had such a great experience, and this, our mission really resonated with them. And they went away, they worked hard, and they came back a year later. They phoned me up and they're like, look, I still get excited when I hear about LinkedIn's mission and vision, and I want in. And they had worked hard and they work here now.
That's very cool. That's
very
amazing. Cool. Well, let's close with some tips, some best practices. So let's go right down the line. Tell me, what is your best practice you want to share? Tip of the day.
Tailor it from the outreach. Tailor it to your candidate. Tailor it to that first message you send. Here's a profile of someone that has got you the same background as you, come to our company, and here's what their career's done. And then when you get on the telephone, you've got to tailor it. What's important to them?
Taylor, got it?
Yeah, personalize it. Make sure that you are giving stories about yourself, about the team that you're working with, about the managers that you work with. That'll really resonate with people as well. Really knowing that they can come in and they're going to have the support, or they're coming in, they have a great team to work with. That'll make people that want to go and join your company.
So personalize it as in make it personal about you sharing your
personal stories.
Personal story.
Exactly.
Great.
Yeah, and I would say be authentic. People can hear passion through a voice or definitely in person. So speak from the truth, from the bottom of the heart, and yeah, be authentic.
Thanks for being here. I've enjoyed this conversation. It's been awesome to hear best practices and storytelling. Take it seriously.